Today's video is going to be a quick eye tutorial on this look right here using the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. If you'd like to see how I got this look, then go ahead and just keep on watching. I'm going to start my eyes by priming them with the NYX white eyeshadow base. I always use a white base when I'm using bright colors because it just makes the colors stand out and really pop. And I'm going to use my Kat Von D concealer brush to apply this because that flat edge is awesome for getting right up against my brows. And even though this eyeshadow base does tend to crease on me a little bit, I'm not going to worry about it too much, and I'm not going to set the entire eye area because putting bright colors directly onto the base is going to make them so much more vibrant. But what I am going to do is take the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadow in Bone and put that just right below my brow bone. And you'll see that I am going to take that white shade pretty far into my inner corner and extend it pretty far past my brow bone, but I'm not going to take it all the way down into my crease because, like I said, I like those bright colors to go directly onto the eyeshadow base. Now I'm going to grab the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette and I'm going to dip into that corner yellow shade with a fluffy brush and just start blending that into my crease. This was actually my very first time dipping into this palette, and at this point I had no idea what kind of look I was going to do. All I knew is that I wanted some warm colors in the crease, so once I got that yellow blended, I went back to that brush I used to apply the white shade and just blended those two colors together. You'll actually see me do this a lot, almost with every single shade. Once I lay it down, I'll go back in with the brush I used previously and just use that to blend the two together. Once I got that yellow shade where I liked it, I went in with a little bit more of a precise crease brush. It's still pretty fluffy, but I'm going to dip into that mustardy yellow shade and put it just a little more deep into my crease to start getting some dimension. And I am going to bring this mustardy shade up pretty high too. Not as high as the yellow shade went, but I am going to be adding more colors into the crease, so I got to make sure it's high enough to where they're not just going to get covered up. And like I said, now I'm grabbing the brush that I used on the previous color and just marrying the two together. Now I'm going to grab my even more precise crease brush and take that corner burnt orange shade and put that again just a little lower into my crease and blend it upward. And again, I am going to be adding in another shade or two, so I'm going to blend it pretty high up, not high enough to cover up that yellow, but enough to where when I do go in with the next shade, it's not going to get completely covered up itself. At this point, I was super happy with how the eye look was turning out. Everything was super vibrant and blended, but I did decide to take an even tinier crease brush and dip into the corner red shade, which unfortunately does have some glitter in it, but I did it anyway, and I don't feel like the glitter translated at all. I feel like it just came off matte, which is exactly what I wanted to add even more dimension to this look. I know at this point I sound super repetitive, but now I'm going to grab that brush I used for the last shade and I'm going to go and blend those all together. I know it's a lot of steps and a lot of back and forth, but trust me, the only way to get that perfect blend is just to take your time. Once I got that red shade blended to where I liked it, I decided to do a half cut crease, so I went and grabbed my Kat Von D whiteout concealer and a little stiff synthetic brush and just started mapping it out. The brush I actually grabbed was the Anastasia A2 brush, and this one was perfect for carving out the crease because it had a stiff enough edge to where I could get a really clean line, but then it was flat enough to where I could pat out the concealer and get a nice blend. And I did speed this part up quite a bit so we wouldn't be sitting here forever just watching me put concealer on my eyelid, but take your time getting that line super clean because it really does make a huge difference once we get the shadows laid out on top of it. Once I'm satisfied with the concealer, I'm actually going to go back into that Anastasia white shade called Bone and just set right on my inner corner so that when I go into my next shade, it has something nice to blend on top of. The color I actually decided to use mainly on my lid is pink, so I dipped into the brightest pink shade and just started applying that on the main part of my lid and making sure it was blended on the inner corner, but not too much on the outer corner because I'm going to add something in there later. To give this look a little bit more of a sunset feel to it, I decided to take a little bit of purple on a pencil brush on the outer corner and just slightly blend that up into the crease. This color blended okay into the crease where the warmer shades were, but I was having a hard time getting it to blend into the pink. So what I did was grabbed this bright peachy coral shade and placed that right where the two colors came together. That shade worked better, but I feel like it covered up a lot of the purple, so I went back in with my tiny crease brush and added just a little bit more. So of course, once I got more dark purple in there, I felt like the blend wasn't looking quite right. So I went back and grabbed the lighter purple shade that's a bit more lilac-y and added that right where the purple meets the pink, and I feel like that's what really did the trick. Even though that dark purple was giving me a hard time there for a minute, I did dip into it again with that pencil brush just to drag down along my lower lash line to kind of tie the whole look together. To tie in the crease to the lower lash line even more, I did end up grabbing that brush that had the orange shade from the crease and running that right below the purple, and then doing the same with the brush that had the yellow shade on it and just running that right below the orange to kind of tie the whole thing together. I really liked how the look was at this point, but I did grab MAC nylon and just popped a little bit of that on the inner corner and below the brow bone because I felt like the look came out a lot more matte than I intended it to. Once my eyeshadow was finally done, I moved on to taking my Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in the shade Perversion and just running that along the top lash line. And then to line my lid, I took the NYX Epic Ink Liner and just ran that across the top of my lashes. I grabbed the shade Noir from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and on a tiny little pencil brush, I just ran that right against my lower lashes so the liner didn't feel like it just cut off at the end of my eye. For mascara, I took my personal favorite CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara and just coated my lashes. So the last step for this super dramatic look was to add some equally dramatic lashes. These are by the brand Hypnaughty in the style Seduction, and I love the way they tied everything together. And I know everybody jokes about it, but I actually did wear this look to the grocery store, and the checkout lady gave me a compliment, so I consider that a win.